So now it's time to conclude our course today. So bear in mind, even though we are focusing on China's political economy for today's class, but actually this is, we try to provide answers to a larger question. Can China be the major champion of globalization instead? So we mentioned a couple of points previously that it seems that China does have this ambition to take the place of the United States to be the major champion. But as we also try to caution the audience that a lot of important foundations that led to the Chinese success before Xi Jinping took power now seems to be undermined. And therefore, we all have to bear in mind, it's not just about the changes inside China. It's also about what these changes inside China might actually have, implications beyond their borders. So to summarize, I think for today, we want to conclude with the lecture with this very interesting question about the Chinese regime, succession. We didn't mention much about this concept, but this is actually the most important concluding message I would like to get across through today's lecture. And so we mentioned for a couple of times Deng Xiaoping's political legacies. It's actually quite important. Deng Xiaoping is not just, as I said, the engineer of the Chinese economic miracle. He also is a chief, principal engineer for the Chinese political systems, and he institutionalized the Chinese politics to such a great extent that all these nice features from institutionalization can help China grow and attract foreign investments. So that's why I think there's no exaggeration that Deng Xiaoping should be, placed in the pantheon of Chinese economic growth because that he's the chief contributor to that. But again, what we have to bear in mind is that but what Xi Jinping has done since 2012 seems to be the endeavors towards the opposite direction, right? Because Deng Xiaoping tried to make Chinese politics less personalized. As you can imagine, that's the aftermath of the 10 years of the Cultural Revolution initiated by, by Mao Zedong. And therefore, Deng Xiaoping's chief political goal when he returned to Beijing was to, change Chinese political system again and make it less personalized, and especially, to prevent another personal cult from happening again. And therefore, he also, another important achievement was that he also make Chinese succession much smoother. He handpicked two leaders, Jiang Zemin and Hu Jintao, and therefore make the transition between the two leaders much smoother. But when because Deng Xiaoping has died when Xi Jinping was chosen as the leader, and therefore there wasn't actually a rule to follow when Xi Jinping came to power. And what is even more surprising to a lot of people, even among political elites, was that Xi Jinping's endeavor through anti-corruption campaign is to personalize Chinese politics again. So, as we mentioned previously, the term limits was actually put back by Deng Xiaoping in 1980s, but now Xi Jinping lifted that constraint and allow him to serve beyond 10 years. And that's obviously a very serious violation of their political convention in the past. So this is something we have to bear in mind. The economic foundation, the institutional foundation that used to serve the interests of the Chinese economy now has been undermined. And what might happen, right? And another thing that I have to mention here is that Xi Jinping's ambition obviously is not just about creating more jobs inside China or lift other people out of poverty, even though that indeed is one of his important policy endeavors in the past. But what he also wanted to do, actually more ambitiously, is to create a second founding. And why? And as I said, succession is a very important issue in the Chinese regime. And Deng Xiaoping actually used his political capital as one of the founding fathers to bring 20 years of stability to Chinese politics. But Xi Jinping is no Deng Xiaoping, obviously. So in order to overcome this challenge in succession, so Xi Jinping has to become another Deng Xiaoping. So that's why I argue maybe what Xi Jinping has in mind is to create a second founding of the republic, and make himself powerful enough and brave enough to create another Chinese Communist Party and to create another People's Republic of China, and that's how he can solve the political succession issue inside China. But of course, we bring you a couple of different perspectives, right? First of all, through the comparison between the political system before and after Xi Jinping, and to help you understand the important institutional foundation for the Chinese success. And also, I bring to you a couple of important perspectives about how to interpret Xi Jinping's policies and a lot of political endeavors he made during his first 10 years. And finally, I also bring to you the important issue about succession. And this is probably the most important thing in the regime. And therefore, all these different factors combined, they will help us understand what kind of angle and what kind of perspective we should take and adopt in observing the future of China and Xi Jinping's rule. So many thanks for your listening today, and the class is now concluded.